Hey everyone, it's I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a Veve OMI update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say, where's Dashy? I don't know. Everyone say hello to the rat. Anyway, so there's been a lot of questions that I've gotten recently on more complaints, and I don't want to speak for the team. This is just speculation. But let me read you a couple of the complaints that I've gotten. I was on the way to dinner with a girlfriend tonight, and I was texting, and the girlfriend says, everything all right? I was like, well, let me read you what this person had said. And I'll read it to you, saying that, quote, that's the problem. There is zero transparency with the Ecomi team. I miss the old Ecomi team when they used to be very transparent and they would tell the community everything. That was one of the best things about this project. They've completely done a flip-flop. They built a community on being honest and open, and they've changed so much in that respect. That's why so many people will leave this project once MTL is available, end quote. So when I read her that, she's like, okay, and do you agree with that? I was like, no, of course I do not agree with that. And this video will go in many different directions, but here's the first direction. On some of the issues that some people think that are not being answered and should be asked. First off, I have not been invited to speak at an AMA in several months. So even if I wanted to ask some certain questions, I would not be able to just because I haven't been. Because there's, again, 2.3 million monthly active users. They're not just going to keep recycling me again, and again. If I was part of Ecomi, I would do the same thing that they're doing and not bringing up the YouTubers that people see every day. I would bring up maybe one or two of them, but I would also, gather other questions from other people out of the thousands of people they have in the AMAs. So anyway, just to break this down a little bit, that's the problem. There's zero transparency with the Ecomi team. Okay, first of all, I've been a part of many different Telegram and Discord groups, not just with Ecomi, but with Earth2, Decentraland, My Neighbor Alice, Sandbox. Not only is Ecomi the most active out of any of them or any other type of metaverse or NFT project. Terra Virtuous is pretty active, but a lot of others are just, they're not dead, but they are lacking in where Ecomis are very active. But that being said, they do a lot more AMAs and they're a lot more transparent than any of the other projects that I have just mentioned. Maybe Terra Virtual might have a different one on their Discord. I don't pay too much attention, but all the other ones I paid a lot of attention to. They can't shine Ecomi's shoes. No candle. The only one in which that might have an advantage is Earth 2's Essence, because their crypto, which is called Essence, hasn't gone live yet. Where Ecomi's has been live for several years. It's already done 100x. Has been 200x at one point. But because that they've already done that, that's why I think Essence has a little bit of a short-term, more bullish, market. But anyway, I digress. Their whole thing with being transparent, they're more transparent than almost anyone else, as far as AMAs, as far as answering questions. So when this person says, I miss the old Ecomi team when they used to be very transparent and they would tell the community everything, that was one of the best things about the project, and they've completely done a flip-flop. Here's my answer to that. When you have a company like, let's say, Tesla, that is a trillion, with a T as in Tango, trillion-dollar company, and they were supposed to have the Cybertruck at the end of 2021, and they didn't. Didn't come in 2021, and they've even said it won't come in 2022. It will be in 2023. And why is that? Well, that's a new technology. They have new batteries. They have new, the full self-driving that's being trying to be put into there, and that makes sense. So I was like, well, Chavez, what about Ecomi? Well, Ecomi's got relatively the same thing. That's NFTs. It's a metaverse that's going to be in the Veveverse, and it's a disruptive and innovative technology, and there's going to be delays. And a lot of people just don't understand that yet. A lot of people that haven't been punched in the face yet, that haven't been investing for a long time, they've only been investing the last year or so, they don't understand that in tech there's a lot of delays. So when he says, quote, they built a community on being honest and open, they've changed so much on that respect, that's why so many people will leave the project once MTL is available, end quote. There's so many different issues with that. One is that when they put out a tentative timeline, and again, tentative, where they say, oh, hey, we should have this rolled out by, this time frame or this time for this time frame, when evidently where tech just happens to have delays wherever you are, no matter how much you're worth, no matter how, even again, Tesla, which is they've been around for 3 decades in the 2000s and the 2010s and now the 2020s, and Ecomi's just been around for a couple of years. Okay, well, it makes sense that Ecomi's going to have some delays, they're going to have some bumps in the road. And well, what happens with that? What happens with that is that they will have some delays and they won't meet timelines, same as any other tech company. And a lot of people, as soon as they don't meet their timelines, people come out with the pitchforks and they have pitchforks in this hand and fire in the other hand. And I don't blame Ecomi for not telling people certain timelines. Why? Because they're just getting their butt slapped. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we're not meeting timelines, and suddenly our fans, the people that are supposed to be supporting us, kind of turn against them. So I don't blame them for that. When they say so many people will leave this project once MTL is available, that's lunacy. Again, what did Brock McBlockchain say in his most recent interview about Ecomi and MTL? Is that, yes, some people will leave, but there's a lot of whales that will come in once we have OMI to NFT, and not just sweep the floors of any, not just sweep the floors, but they'll sweep certain collectibles so that there's none left, so that people can't get them, and you will see items disappear on the market. I've hypothesized this for months, and that's why I have a really big stake in Alligator Loki, and why I have 2% of the ultra rare. I'm sorry, the secret rare. More than 1% of the ultra rare, I'm sorry, almost 1% of the ultra rare, and more than 1%, almost 2% of the common, because I think it's really popular, and I digress. So that's one thing that I wanted to talk about, is why Ecomi is doing certain things. And again, I'm just hypothesizing here, I'm just speculating. There's a couple of other things I wanted to go over as well. One of which was the timeline of exchanges. Now, yes, I get it. People that have been here for a year saying, oh, we're supposed to get new exchanges in May of last year, like even Non-Fungible Wonderful did. Now, we were in May, now we in September. All the OGs will remember. It's such a good song. Non-Fungible Wonderful, so talented. Anyway, we had delays because of the migration, and it was Immutable X, and now it's the war, and now, whatever. There are a couple of things to go over here. We were supposed to get some exchanges in February, and now it's March, and we didn't get any new exchanges. Why is that? Well, there may or may not be a couple of reasons. I don't know what they are, but you would have to assume that the migration went well, because we would hear it from other exchanges if the migration did not go well. And since we haven't heard anything really negative from the other exchanges, it is safe to assume that it is just some type of outside thing that they had to do, whether it was with the token, whether it was with the migration, smart contracts, or the new exchanges, whatever they are. Hopefully should be done pretty quickly. Now, here's where I go into my next point, and these two do overlap, is that yesterday, and we seem to be at a bottom, our good friend Puddin Cheeks and his OMI token burn, which is his spreadsheet, says that on the 3rd of March, so 3 March 2022, for the first time in months, we had a day in which we had less than $500,000 go into the account. And I'm searching now. The last time we had that was 28 November. 28 November was the last day where we had the dollar amount be less than $500,000 go into the app. But that being said, we still had 30 million OMI burn. So let's pretend that, let's say we don't get exchanges until next year, which we're obviously going to get exchanges this year. They should be in a couple of weeks. They could be in March. They could be in June or July. I don't know, but they will come this year. I will bet so much money on that. A lot of people have been saying and commenting, oh, hey, how will you feel where OMI's still at under a penny by the end of this year? Anyone want to come to New York right now? We'll get a deal notarized. We'll have a bet notarized. I'll bet you $10,000 for each person, like cash. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Are you? So I digress. Let's say we do that and we get continuously about 500,000 OMI, which again, that's on a non-drop day. The drop today, as far as for March 2022, we've had over 600, almost $700,000 go into the app because we've had a comic book. Now, one of the last ones we had a bigger one, we had over 100 million OMI burn, at over $700,000. That was the other day, on the 28th. When we had the Aston Martins, we had 398 million. When we had the back on the 14th, we had 438 million OMI burn, and we had $3 million go onto the app. So there's a lot of different ways where we could get money in and burn it. But let's just do some math here. Let's say that let's say we don't have any through June. Let's say we have March, April, May, June, 4 months where we still have days where we don't have any drops. Where at some point this year, I'm going to assume Q3, maybe Q4, where we have at least one drop every day, if not multiple drops per day. So let's take a look at, let's say 50 million OMI times, let's say 4 months, so let's say 120 days. So that's about 6 billion OMI burn through June, because we have March, April, May, June. So actually it should be a lot more than that. It should be about 150, 30 days each, but let's say 140. Let's be super conservative with it. That's actually 7 billion OMI burned just in that time frame, which is about 25%, maybe 23% of what it is right now. So that's 7 billion. Let's keep that in mind. And then let's say that at some point we have at least one drop per day. And it goes from 50 million, and let's say we go to 100 million OMI per day. 100 million OMI per day. And then we go from July, August, September, October, November, December, 6 months. So let's say we multiply that by 120, figure 120 days. That is another 12 billion OMI that would be burned. Again, it's from the reserve wallet, and that would be about 19 billion. But we will probably have, that's with, what is that? That is with the 2.2 million right now. So with the 2.2 million right now monthly active users, that will double by the time we're out of Q2. So let's say Q3, 3 months, is 200 million per day. And we do that for let's say 1 quarter. So let's say that's 90 days. And we do that through Q3. That's 18 billion OMI burned in just Q3 alone. And that's only if we double the 4.4 million. Now let's double that again. And let's go to 400 million, because by the end of the year, we should have 10 million. But let's be really conservative and say we only have 8.8 million monthly active users, which I think we're going to have much more than that. But let's just do that for Q4. Well, that's about 36 billion OMI. So we have 36 billion OMI plus the 18 billion OMI. That's about 54 billion plus the 7 billion that we talked about before. So what did I say? 18 plus 36, that's 54, plus the 7, that's 61 billion OMI throughout the rest of this year. We will be burning close to 100 billion OMI by the end of the year. That, however, is if we just stay down here. I do believe that we will get exchanges in Q3, in Q2, which would be April, May, June. So if we start in, let's say, April, we get 1 in April, we get 2 in May, we get 3 in June, and we go on and so forth. Again, why wouldn't any exchanges want to have us? There's no reason for them not to. Like, let's say, even if, I've been watching a lot of Modern Family recently, so let's say if Jay Pritchett had an issue with the CEO of Closets, they will put their differences aside if they can make money. If anyone's ever seen the movie on Netflix called I Care a Lot, this blonde lady's talking with Peter Dinklage, amazing actor, love him. And Peter Dinklage is saying, "What if we work together?" And then the blonde's like, "How would we trust each other?" And then the Peter Dinkler says, if we trust each other, if we make each other rich, the trust will come. I don't care if David Yu and Dan Crothers, let's say, had bad blood with any CEOs of any exchange. If they're going to make each other rich, the trust will come, and they're going to want OMI on their exchange. There is no other crypto right now that's associated with Disney. Can that change in the future? Absolutely. But currently, right now, if I were head of an exchange, I would want exclusive rights to be able to trade the crypto that is attached with Disney. Now, obviously, nobody's going to get exclusive rights, but you can be one of the exchanges that have it, and that is a great notch on your belt. That is a great notch on your bedpost. So anyway, this is just a little bit of a timeline for how much we're going to burn and where I see exchanges. I do see at least one happening in April, and then we get a couple in May, a couple in June, so on and so forth. The price of OMI goes up. Hopefully, again, even if it doesn't, we want it to stay down here, because if it stays down here and we burn 100, let's say the burn is over 100 billion by the end of this year, that's crazy. That's more than 25% of the reserve wallet that was burned between last year and this year. That means at a total of, let's say we're burning 60 billion per year. Let's say out of 100 billion, let's say there's 240 billion left. By 2028, we would completely burn through the reserve wallet, and that's if we don't grow after this year, which, let's face it, we're going to be growing a lot. Again, this is with no marketing, so I digress. Everyone, please comment, like, and subscribe. I'm so bullish on this. Everyone say, where's Dashi? Where's Dashi? All right, I love you guys. Goodbye. Meow, 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 meow.